Oddly enough, I could not find a video in my archives of this watch. So either I labeled it differently and I just couldn't find it or whatever, but regardless, I have one in. Big thanks to my buddy Rocky. So let's make a video. Let's check it out. So what we have here is this model number. I'll put a link in the description. Excuse the band-aid, but it's probably better than looking at the little damage I have from a hangnail. But this is the 38 millimeter Khaki automatic. So you're going to have the H10 movement in it, and you're going to have the display case back there showing off the automatic rotor. So you can hand wind it, or it's automatic. 80-hour power reserve with that H10 movement as well. I believe the part number on it is ETA C07.111. So you're looking at a 38 millimeter case, 47 lug to lug. I mean, these are like perfect field watch dimensions too. I think a lot of people are huge fans of these Hamilton Khaki 38s. Only 11 millimeter thick. It's really closer to 10. I say 11 because, we got to factor in that double domed sapphire crystal, which is very nicely set into the polished bezel. 20 millimeter lug width. Bracelet does taper down to 18. All milled out. Only 2 micro adjusts. I'm not going to peel all the plastic off. Doesn't matter. Double pushers, but it's all milled out. It's a really nice bracelet. I believe this is using a split pin design, if I'm not mistaken. You can see the little arrows. Super simple, easy to operate bracelet. Does have a line that kind of comes down from the solid end link and follows all of the center links all the way down. It's all brushed, even the sides, everything. So the only bit of polishing on this really is that bezel. And then a little bit on the side crown. The crown is actually 6.5 millimeter, which is a great size for this size watch. It is very easy to operate. So smaller watch, but if you have, larger fingers and you have a hard time operating smaller crowns or crowns that are tucked into a crown guard, such as like an alpinist or something, then this thing is going to be a breeze to operate. You have a 24-hour ring on the inside there. If you zoom in, I'm trying to get that little piece of dust off there, but I'm going to stop messing with it. I'll just let you look at it. You can see you have the syringe handset there, nicely polished edges, red tipped seconds hand that reaches all the way out to the very edge of the dial there. A lot of numbers, a lot of information going on in the dial, but it just flows really well. They even kept the 15. They just kind of shoved it over a little bit. The only thing that was excluded here was the number 3, excluded for the date cutout. I am fine with that. So you have all your minute markers or seconds, whatever you want to count them, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way around. And then you have your 24-hour register on the inside, of course, and then you have your Arabic 12s on the outside. We'll do a loom shot at the end, but look at the finishing. The brushing on this is awesome. I love that it's brushed on the top, the sides, everywhere. Sometimes it's nice to have a mostly brushed watch other than, that polished bezel, which if you wear this thing like a regular field watch should be worn, I'm guessing that bezel is going to get scratched up. That's just the way it works. But there you can look at that ETA movement, ETA, whatever you want to call it. 25 joules, Swiss, custom Hamilton rotor. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look up there above, you can see the ETA logo, and I believe the part number, it's hard to see, but I think you see a C07 and then the 01 or the 111, the 111. I think that's what you see up there. Something like that. That's the movement model number. Typically, if it wasn't like an H10 or something like that, you would see the 2824 or the 2892 or something like that. It would be right up in that position. So let's pop this thing on wrist real quick. Before we do that, let's do a little side-by-side with this Alpinist. You're going to have some trickery here just because of the dial color is going to make the watch look larger. But this is like a 38 millimeter watch. So you can see there, the Alpinist basically dressed up quite a bit versus the Hamilton. I think Hamilton, I know Hamilton owns the field watch market, and there are a ton of really good field watches out there, field style watches out there, even from some micros that I would highly recommend people try. But no matter what, even with Hamilton's shortcomings that people may say they have, the water resistance, it's I think 100-meter water resist on this, it's a push-pull crown, all that stuff. Even with all those things that people wish that it would be improved, everyone else is still compared to Hamilton, which means Hamilton's still the king. So let's pop this on wrist. I was wearing this watch, which I need to actually pay Stuart for this. He sent this in, and I fell in love with it. I love it. It's like a great white dial watch. All right, so now it's not sized for my wrist, but you'll still be able to get a pretty good representation of what it's going to look like on a 7¼ inch wrist. That 47 lug to lug. Usually you have the longer lugs on the field watches. Hamilton usually does that, and that's what really saves them for me. Like I can definitely, I feel like I can wear a 38mm watch when the lug span is wider, so it just feels more balanced on wrist. So if you are looking for a Hamilton, the catalog is continuing to grow. I just noticed I'm still waiting on Mimo. He's my preferred authorized dealer, and I'll put a link to his website in the description. I'm still waiting for him. Well, he's waiting too, but on getting those new Hamilton releases. They have a bunch of really cool ones. They even have that fully blacked out Khaki King. That thing looks crazy. It's going to wear probably a little bit smaller on wrist because it is all black, but I have to see it. That thing is crazy looking. And then there's some like aviation style watches. But anyway, I'm hoping to see a lot of Hamilton coming up towards the end of this year and certainly into next year, because they're just, man, they are crushing it. Let's kill the lights and check the lume on this. Price-wise, I did just look, and I'll try to put a link in the description to Joma. They are doing a Black Friday sale. Hopefully I have this video up before Black Friday. But I like that the Arabics are loomed and everything. Some of these newer Hamiltons, it seems like the lume is just a little bit better than I remember like a couple years ago. So that's pretty dang good. They're improving things. But if you go to Joma, and I'll put a link in the description, I don't have any affiliation with Joma, even though I'm going to give you a discount code. If you go to Joma, I think they're $430, and I'll write down there next to the link to the description the discount code that you should be able to use. Let me know if it works or not, because I haven't really talked to those guys much. They were supposed to work with me, and then they didn't. So, but they did offer me a discount code, so maybe it still works. If it does, you can take advantage of it. But retail on it, I believe, is $625. Yeah, there it is. Retail $625. You know, so Joma right now $430. That's a good deal. Obviously, you can hit up my buddy Mimo. He's an authorized dealer. So if you don't want to fiddle around with any gray market, just go to Mimo, and it might cost you a little bit more, but you have that authenticity, you have the support, and all that good stuff. So it depends on how you feel about buying your watches. I personally prefer my authorized dealers, but I understand some people would rather just save a few extra bucks, take the risk. So that's why these other ones exist. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Rocky for sending this in. I'll catch you on the next vid.